Hello, today is December 14th, 2019. I tried for over an hour to record a video after Thursday's close and it just wouldn't record. I wrote to Screencast-O-Matic, whose software I use, and they couldn't figure it out either. I tried restarting the computer. I tried a different computer. Nothing worked. This morning I ran a test and it seems to be working again. I have no idea why. Let's just review 2 days. We had these numbers and they printed. Support here. This number gets added to the list. These are the targets from Friday's patterns. This is the pattern with the early high. And Monday's pattern also has an early high. This pattern has a counter trend rallying in the middle of the day and tends to taper off into the close. When that doesn't happen and we don't hit new lows, when we gap down, hit a lower low, close over each of them, it's all positive. Only undercutting this low fast would kill the call for higher prices on Monday. We got an ultimate pie signal here. Ultimately, higher prices should print new all-time highs. This drop is called by MEJT to be false and should retrace to this line. This was also false, and we actually went high enough to satisfy that. Well, here's what I tried to post on Thursday. We have resistance at 31.91 cash, and I said the high a day would tend to print first hour and a half of trading. Well, that was true. We never got to the target. I said if we topped out there, could be significant, but that never happened. If this high holds, there's a cute relationship between last year's high and what would be this year's high, but I don't think that's going to hold. I'll be wrong if we cut this, if we drop down quickly, undercut this low. Now we do have a possible interpretation here of another rising wedge, a fall down, a retrace to the apex of the wedge, which would be 31.91. That would also be a Fibonacci target of the prior pattern. Take this high and this low. Here's your Fibonacci grid, all these delightful hits. But the ideal time for that to hit was Friday. I don't think this pattern is going to hold. Suppose we could hit it early Monday and then drop, but it's not the only way to read it. And it's not looking as if the rally is ready to stop yet. The weekends, when we usually take a look at the long-term picture, the count really isn't clear. I think this is the simplest one. And the simplest one, more often than not, turns out to be the right one. We have Brown 1 completing here, and ABC for Brown 2 completing here with a good fib ratio. There's also a good fib ratio on Blue C, and that would put us in wave Brown 3 going up. This grid is equal in height to Brown 1, and Brown 3 is usually longer, but even if it's equal than Brown 1, it would be over 3,400. Of course, we don't know for certain if that's the right count. Whenever you do these things, you have to keep an eraser handy. But there have been a number of places here where it would have been logical for the rally to stop. And it just kept on going. And the longer we keep on going like this, the more likely it is that we're in wave 3. But I just take things a day at a time. So here's what I have for Monday. Here are the patterns for next week. Someone asked me to give all the patterns a week and ahead. no problem. Monday's pattern has the early high, so we gapped down, hit a lower low, closed over both of them. We didn't close near its low. We have higher targets. All these things point to higher prices. It assumes that this close is right. As I've said, the open Monday is a substitute for today's close, yesterday's close. And if we open way down here, that kills the pattern and kills the call before the open. Doesn't look to me as if this 13 December date's going to work. Be nice if it did, but some things I try work, some things don't. Right now, all we have to do is avoid a big drop early Monday. We should see higher prices. New all-time highs should be coming. And if in fact this is a wave 3 up, the intensity of the rally can go to levels which seem implausible at the present time. Take it a day at a time. If we don't undercut this low, higher prices should print. That's today's call.